So as you can see there, there's the cover of Mind War. Now, remember we talked about that diamond symbol in that first picture that we decoded, right?
Yep.
So what do you have? You have the male compass and the female chalice. Now, in this world for the occultic high priest, what does that represent when they're together? You know, they take God out of the picture, and you see that in the middle of that man and woman, instead of like the original image we were looking at, it had the circle which represented God. But what does it have here? It has the square, which represents just man, and it represents sex magic.
Wow.
So this, I'm going to tell you every single thing that Michael Aquino did, and this is proof. I'm going to just call it out there.
Yeah.
This is the proof that Michael Aquino, in his government position, was using sex magic. He's got it everywhere on his books. He puts those symbols of the male and female.
Wow.
So it's embedded in his books. If you turn, I know you guys don't have a copy of his first thing, but when he gives credits to individuals that work in these programs with him, we have individuals like Colonel John B. Alexander. We have Walt Disney. We have, Paul Kantner. We have Paul Kressner. We have Bruce Lee. That was an interesting name. He lists a lot of people in here. That
even Hollywood people, correct?
Yep, and he has like U.S. Spacecom, H.G. Wells. So he's got a lot of individuals that somehow they're connected to this. This isn't just, it's not just a book. This is a manual that the military and the government uses. That's what he created with this trilogy. So as we get into that, I want to look at the symbols here before I get into this last piece. So if we could pull up the cover for Mind Star. This is Aquino's second book. Okay. So as we look at these symbols again, we're looking at who are the principalities, the demonic spirits that these individuals are working in conjunction with, that are governing these different projects or experiments or things that our government people are involved in. So with Mind War, it's very clear. You've got Baal and Ashtoreth, who are clearly involved in this, by the joining of the two sides. But you also have Abaddon. He's going to be a big one because you've got the points that go towards the top. Can you show the one for Mind Star?
Mind Star. We'll get that for you.
With that one, we're going to clearly see the symbol for Ashtoreth, beyond it just looking like a V. Sometimes it's filled in. It looks like, an arrowhead facing down. And a lot of times it takes on a form because it branches out. It looks like the female uterus. So with this, I'm waiting for it to pull up here.
Yeah, he's going to pull it up.
With this star find, okay, we see, with that T there that's supposed to be the T in the star. First, you've got Baal, the male compass that's over it, and you've got the chalice receiving, but it distinctly forms that T look or that uterus look. Is big in this. But I want people to notice that space in between the compass and the T.
Okay.
That is going to distinctly tell us the rank of the demonic spirits who are in control here. So that's going to it points up, it's going to tell us that Avedon is over Ashtora in these projects. Okay, so he's going to be the main spirit behind the Stargate projects. So both, his other name besides Avedon, he's called Apollon. He's sometimes called Apollo. So you have, Kathy O'Brien, you've got Fiona Barnett. They talk about projects like the Looking Glass. What is the entity that they name? They name Apollon. So they experienced him in these projects, and this is reminiscent of exactly what Aquino is putting in symbols on his books, that Avedon is indeed the head demonic principality over these projects.
Wow.
Now, if you go can you go to that Tesla symbol? So as we branch out, these symbols we're going to see not only necessarily related to government things, but we may see them in things that are considered outside projects, or things that aren't directly run by military people. Mm-hmm. So the one I want to point out is Tesla. Yeah. There's been a lot of questions people have, and we're going to just leave them as open questions about Musk. Okay. He oversees, SpaceX. There's been some conjuncture. He might have been part of Project Artemis, things like that. Okay. But when we look at, he works with NASA, he works with a lot of these different government agencies, right? And then we see this symbol here for Tesla, his company. Okay. And what do we notice? What very distinctly is being shown? Who do we see is the principality over that organization? We see Ashtaroth. And what I want to point out specifically is that V at the top where the chalice is left blank. And what does that tell us? Where was the other blank that should be above that? Mm-hmm. That's with Aquino. Wow. So this is telling us that Tesla falls under Aquino's star projects. That's all I'm going to say about that.
So there's a lot of people who think, Elon Musk is a great guy. He's doing great things, Tesla, Space Force, all this. This is basically breaking it down. Like she said, we'll leave it there for you to see the symbolism. Symbolism is everything. And like she said earlier, symbolism will also be their downfall. So think twice about those that they prop up in the media as celebrities on who they really are. You're breaking some crazy stuff, because a lot of people, before you even saw that, we're probably going to think that Musk is a great guy. Look, we're going to go buy all these Teslas, not knowing what you're doing in showing what's happening here. This is mind-blowing stuff.
Of his boring, has had connections to CERN. Who did we say oversees the gate at CERN? That's Avedon. So wow. There again, we see yet one more company of his that is under that major principality that oversees these government projects and experiments that children were involved in.